Why you do this? Understand yourself. You don't have trust issues. You have memory. You say you want love, but the truth is more uncomfortable than that. You want love as long as it cannot hurt you. You want closeness as long as you are still in control. The second someone actually sees you, something in your body flinches. Not visibly, not dramatically, but internally, everything tightens. Your chest contracts, your breathing shifts, your thoughts sharpen into surveillance mode. You start scanning for signs that this will collapse. You look for proof that it is not safe. You call it intuition, but most of the time, it is memory. And memory is louder than hope. You do not distrust people because you are cold. You distrust people because you once trusted someone and it cost you stability. It cost you peace. It cost you your sense of safety. And your nervous system does not forget costs like that. So now, when someone moves closer, your body prepares for impact before your mind even understands why. You crave connection with your whole heart, but your survival system whispers, "Not again." And that whisper controls more than you realize. You are not detached. You are hyper-attached internally. You think about them constantly. You analyze their tone, their pauses, their timing. You replay conversations looking for shifts. You feel everything deeply, but you reveal almost nothing fully. Because revealing fully means risking destabilization, and destabilization feels unbearable. People might describe you as guarded, hard to read, independent. They see strength, they see composure. They do not see the constant internal monitoring. They do not see the way your body braces when intimacy increases. You move closer when it feels controlled. You pull back the moment uncertainty enters. And uncertainty, to your system, does not feel neutral. It feels like the beginning of loss. This is not about trust issues in general. This is about learned unpredictability. At some point in your life, closeness did not equal safety. It equaled confusion, mixed signals, emotional withdrawal, or abandonment that came without warning. Your nervous system encoded that pattern, not intellectually, biologically. Now when someone gets close, your body runs an old program. Closeness equals exposure. Exposure equals vulnerability. Vulnerability equals potential collapse. So you prepare. You do not even realize you are preparing. You just feel a subtle shift from warmth to alertness. And once alertness is activated, full trust becomes impossible. Because survival always outranks desire. The trigger is almost always small. A delayed response, a different tone, a slight change in energy. Something tiny moves, and your body reacts as if something major just happened. Your stomach drops, your chest tightens, your thoughts start generating scenarios at speed. You do not tell yourself you are afraid. You tell yourself you are being realistic. But what is happening is activation. Your nervous system detects unpredictability and equates it with threat. Because unpredictability once meant emotional pain, so now even neutral shifts feel loaded. You become quieter, or colder, or slightly distant. You say you are just matching their energy. But in reality, you are protecting yourself from a pain that has not even happened yet. When intimacy deepens, your system does not relax. It accelerates. Your heart rate subtly changes. Your thoughts become sharper, more analytical. You look for inconsistencies. You measure effort. You test reliability. You do this automatically, not because you want to sabotage connection, but because your body refuses to surrender without proof. And proof, for you, is never instant. It must be repeated, consistent, stable over time. Until then, you remain partially guarded. You give affection, but not full access. You share, but not the core. Because the core once got hurt, and your nervous system decided that would not happen again without a fight. Here's the contradiction that exhausts you. You crave depth intensely. Surface-level connection feels empty. But deep connection feels destabilizing. So you oscillate. You lean in. You pull back. You miss them. You doubt them. You long for reassurance. You resent needing reassurance. This internal back and forth creates confusion in relationships. You want consistency, but you struggle to stay emotionally steady when it arrives. Because consistency feels unfamiliar, and unfamiliar can feel unsafe. So you stay hyper-aware. Hyper-aware feels safer than relaxed, even though relaxed is what you actually want. The other person often feels like they are walking on unstable ground. One moment you are warm, open, engaged. The next moment you are distant, slightly withdrawn, harder to reach. They wonder what changed, they search for mistakes, they question themselves. Their behavior is not actually about you, but your system reads every shift as if it is. They have their own nervous system patterns, their own attachment history. When they pull back slightly, it may simply be regulation for them. When they move closer, it may feel natural to them. But to you, those fluctuations feel significant. Because your body does not interpret change as neutral. It interprets change as risk. Here's why you react the way you do. You learned that emotional safety can disappear without warning. So now you monitor closeness carefully. You try to detect instability before it escalates. Your system believes that early detection prevents deeper pain. And once, it probably did. You might appear composed externally, but internally, you are calculating constantly. You are assessing tone, timing, responsiveness. The moment something feels uncertain, you prepare to detach first. Not dramatically, not loudly, but subtly, because leaving emotionally first feels safer than being left. Here's how the pattern forms between both of you. They move closer, you soften. They shift slightly, you tense. You tense, they sense distance. They adjust their behavior. You interpret the adjustment as instability. And the cycle tightens. No one intends harm, but both nervous systems are reacting to each other's defenses. The relationship slowly becomes about managing perceived threat instead of building safety. You are not fighting each other. You are fighting old survival strategies that activate automatically. And that is what makes it so confusing. At the core, this pattern was born in unpredictability. Emotional inconsistency wires the body for vigilance. When love feels unstable early in life, the nervous system adapts by staying alert. Alertness becomes baseline, relaxation feels foreign, and foreign feels unsafe. Your body is not broken. It is loyal to what it learned. It is trying to prevent repetition of emotional chaos. The problem is that it cannot always differentiate between past instability and present possibility. So it responds to potential closeness as if it were historical threat. And that keeps trust at a distance. Over time, this becomes identity. You tell yourself you are just cautious, just selective, just not naive, and those things are partially true. You are perceptive, you notice shifts others ignore. But beneath that perception is fear of losing control emotionally. Trusting someone means allowing them influence over your internal state. It means accepting that they can affect you. And that feels dangerous, because if they can affect you, they can destabilize you. So you keep one foot out the door emotionally. Not because you do not care, but because caring feels high risk. What if your distrust is not cynicism, but protection that never got updated? What if your system simply needs repeated experiences of stability? Trust is not built through intensity. It is built through consistency, through small moments of reliability, through repair after conflict, through emotional steadiness over time. You do not heal trust by forcing vulnerability. You heal it by tolerating closeness in manageable doses, by noticing activation without immediately acting on it, by staying present when your body wants to retreat. Safety must be experienced repeatedly before it becomes default. Transformation begins when you separate past from present in real time. When your chest tightens and you ask, is this now, or is this memory? When you feel the urge to withdraw and you pause instead of disappearing. That pause is powerful. That pause interrupts generational wiring. You start allowing closeness without demanding certainty. You let connection unfold without preemptively protecting yourself from imagined endings. It feels uncomfortable at first, exposed, raw, but slowly, your system realizes that not every shift equals catastrophe. And that realization changes everything. Relief comes when you understand that your fear makes sense. You are not defective. You adapted intelligently. You built strategies to survive emotional instability. Those strategies worked. They kept you functioning. They kept you from collapsing. But survival strategies are not meant to run your entire adult life. When you stop shaming your defenses, they soften. When your nervous system feels understood, it does not need to escalate. And gradually, connection starts to feel less like exposure and more like shared space. There is a quiet power in recognizing that you can want love and fear at the same time. Both are honest. Both are real. Neither cancels the other. When you stop trying to eliminate fear and instead build safety alongside it, something stabilizes internally. You move slower, you communicate more clearly, you do not disappear at the first sign of discomfort. You allow room for repair. And repair builds trust more than perfection ever could. That is how embodied trust forms. Not through blind belief, through repeated experience. You crave connection because you are wired for attachment. You struggle with trust because attachment once felt unsafe. Both truths can exist without making you broken. Your nervous system learned through experience. And it can learn again. With patience, with awareness, with intentional repetition of safety. You do not have to choose between independence and intimacy. You can build both. You can stay discerning without staying guarded. You can open without abandoning yourself. And the moment you realize your defenses were protection, not personality, you reclaim choice. That is where real trust begins. You can want love without fearing it forever. If someone truly loved you, would you trust it, or prepare to lose it?